How's it going, guys? It's MasKScarin here. Wait, is it MasKScarin? Sometimes I can't remember. And apparently I'm not alone.
MasKScarin, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no plan for today. This is literally a test stream.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
For the millionth and one time, this is the Tree of Life. It's just a
It's just a thing.
it's just a thing.
Just a thing right now.
Yeah.
We're
I didn't know
working-
what else to put back there. There was nothing in here.
There was nothing there. She's like, we were like, you need to get like a
I'm
kind
sorry.
of.
Mark. Yeah, I really butchered your name. I'm so sorry.
That was Craven_Raven from Twitch. I will link their Twitch channel down below. I always enjoy when either we follow or host people, and it just seems to be the going meme. Our name getting messed up. MasKScarin, I might have to rebrand at this rate. Anyhow, guys, the thing I wanted to really talk about here is that this is a Cerberus deck to farm level 40 or Marik, but there isn't actually a concrete deck list. That's what I wanted to intro this. It's important. It's really more, I have the absolute cheapest budget build you could possibly make, completely free-to-play friendly, and then I show you guys how to optimize it step by step, where you can try to bring it towards, and it's up to you to find your comfortable spot somewhere in between that cheapest budget build and a more optimized build. I've made an index at the bottom right for you guys, but I have run this intro longer than I wanted to, so if you add 1 minute to all the times at the bottom right in that intro, you'll find where everything actually is in the video. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be extremely active in the comments down below, because this is a video for people who do need to make a budget build work. You don't have as many cards as to be able to make these very expensive farming decks that we also make. And if you are able to make some of those, make sure you check them out. They're on the channel as well. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of this. How's it going, guys? Mask here, and I have a Cerberus deck to farm level 40 Marik to share with you guys. Now, I've never been so excited about a farming deck ever to share. We basically worked together as a stream. We're still live right now recording, by the way, and the stream worked together, and made the absolute cheapest deck we could possibly make to farm Yami Marik, and this deck is actually scoring over 8,000 points and is near 100% win rate. It's insane. I honestly cannot even believe we pulled it off. Like, we just started like, oh, you know, let's try to build a Cerberus deck, and it's like we had one. It was working great, and then I'm just like, guys, it's not cheap enough. It's not free to play enough. We got to do it. We got to make the ultimate free to play deck. And basically my goal with this video is going to be to show you guys this is the bare minimum. This is the base. This is where you're gonna start. If you don't have Draw Sense Light, use Sorcery's Conduit or Draw Sense Low. Sorcerer's Conduit is on YuGiOh. It's a level up skill. And Draw Sense Low is a level up skill on Weevil. There. So we're gonna run through this deck like it is, and then afterwards make sure you stay till the end, or you at least go to the end if you've saw enough. I'm gonna do a walkthrough on how to step by step improve this deck if you have certain cards available. For example, I'm gonna say the first one, the really big one I'm gonna point out. As a stream, we actually collectively agreed, no, Mask, it's okay to put anti-magic arrows in the deck. Everyone has anti-magic arrows. And then at the end, 2 people come onto the stream and they go, we were busy during the last event. We couldn't get anti-magic arrows. What can we use instead? I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Out with the anti-magic arrows. How are we making this cheaper? Storm. Done. Storm. But to make up for Storm, we had to put in 2 copies of Fairy Meteor Crush, because you can get stuck with Fairy Meteor Crush in your opening hand and be forced to play it. Another super obvious upgrade is going to be replacing Fairy Meteor Crush with, and I'm struggling to remember the name of the card right now, Big Bang Shot, and that's going to be an instant upgrade to the deck. Big Bang Shot obviously works better than Fairy Meteor Crush. You get the bonus attack. Now, let's do it. We're just going to jump in, and I'm going to, as we're going, I'm going to explain to you guys just why this deck works and just why it's near perfect for Marik. And I honestly, I've been enjoying farming with, it's been so long since I ran Cerb. Now, essentially, the only threat you have, your Cerberus has, is Marik's 3,300 attack monster. Now, that's pretty significant, and you can get screwed pretty easily not being able to play Cerb, but no matter what, Marik cannot play Cerb until his second turn. This is going to be a great example. Marik goes second. Marik cannot play, he cannot play his 3,300 monster until his second turn. By that time, this is what your hand will look like 100% of the time. You will have a Cerberus, and you will have 4 spell cards. You have to use all 4 of them, no matter what they are. There is only one way this, and that being said, there is only one way this deck bricks, period, and it is if your opening hand is both Fairy Meteor Crushes and a Pot of Benevolence. But that being said, the deck still wouldn't actually have completely bricked. At this moment right here, we would have 2 Fairy Meteor Crushes on the field. Pot of Benevolence would be in our hand. We'd be at 2,900. Now, it's only at this point a brick if Marik manages to summon out his 3,300 attack monster on his second turn, the one that's coming right up. It does happen, but it's the rarity of having all 3 of those cards in your opening hand comboed with the rarity of him getting that 3,300 monster out that turn that just passed. Put that together, it's not going to be a brick. Prime example, it wouldn't have been a brick. It didn't happen. The card we're obviously looking, and then we could have played this spell card here. Boom, we would have been over 30, we would have been at 3,400 on Cerb. He is safe, home free. Now, the big trick to this deck is only get your Cerb to 3,400 or 3,300. Only get it right there. Right, and stop playing cards. Keep cards out of your graveyard. Stall for as long as you can to keep cards out of your graveyard. And now, like we were saying, Fairy Meteor, if you have Big Bang Shot completely nullifies that brick you would have gotten from Pot of Benevolence, because if you had Big Bang Shots, Cerb would have made it to over 3,300 without having to play that Pot of Benevolence. So Big Bang Shot is actually ideal. Certainly ideal. I mean, there's many improvements we can make to this deck. This is the bare minimum. To be honest with you guys, you can run it without the Supremacy Berry or the Dianket or the Cure Master. I put it in because it was that teeter between feeling like I was safe and not. If you don't have them, you don't have to use them. Like, put in other free healing that you have. And just, it's all about micromanaging your hand while also going through this. You cannot play the second Meteor Crush. Make sure you keep that in your hand. Because we're relying on Storm as our end game in here, this is the deck that doesn't even run anti-magic arrows. Anti-magic arrows would improve this deck, and what it allows us to do is not have to run 2 copies of Fairy Meteor Crush. If we had anti-magic arrows, we would just have that. We would also just have the Big Bang Shot, ideally, or 1 Fairy Meteor Crush. And you don't have to worry about storming at the end. Because right now, in order to deal with Marik's back row, we're going to storm 1 Fairy Meteor Crush and our 1 field spell. Like I said, the goal with this video, I am showcasing the absolute cheapest possible deck our entire stream could think to put together. And that's what we have on the screen here. We'll go ahead and set this. And like you see, if you notice what I'm doing, I've taken no damage and I only have 8 cards left in my deck. So you just stall for as long as absolutely possible. Keep stalling, keep stalling, keep stalling. Now we're finally being forced to play cards. We're going to start with the cheapest ones we have first. Marik will never deck out before you because he'll automatically continue to cycle that mask back into his deck. Now, if we were looking here, we need to draw through 6 more. We actually might run into the problem of this Pot of Benevolence needed to have been used on this Yummy Marik, which, if you have Big Bang, you can't storm then. We wouldn't storm. Obviously, if you're running Big Bang, you need to have anti-magic arrows. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing there. Soul of the Pure. We actually... Marik, unfortunately... We'll see how this goes. I think he's going to die. He's going to die before we can deck him out because we used the Pot of Benevolence on turn 1 on us. That's unfortunate. It's going to force us to end this one slightly early. We only get one more draw. Yeah, we're totally going to have to end this one early. That's unfortunate. Now what can we run there instead of Pot of Bene? Maybe we need to pick yeah, like we've been running this bare minimum version a couple times now. I think I've decided yeah, it's unfortunate. You got too many cards in the grave too fast. We're not gonna be able to deck ourselves out here. He dies next. He dies at the end of his next turn, so we have to try to win here. Can we even do that? I think so. We would storm now. Yo, yeah, guys. Just a heads up to the chat because I know I have been missing most of it. This is the absolute least optimal deck. What you're looking at on the screen right now is not a replacement for anything else you guys have already. This is the least optimal deck you can physically make for farming Yami Marik. This is the budget amongst all other budget farms possible on Cerberus to boot. But the thing is, this is absolute bare. There's so many improvements you can make that actually make this Cerberus quite viable, and if with enough glossy points, and that's the thing, most of these cards are just randomly thrown in. With enough glossy or prismatic points, you can actually get this one over 8,000. So we were forced to end this early. What we ended up missing out on was comeback victory and having only one card left in the deck. And also we missed out on the glossy / prismatic points for the last 3 cards in the deck. Or they were all glossies, and all that put together actually would have gotten this prismatic glossy. It would have gotten this to 8,000 points, which is wicked. Now, like I was saying, this is the absolute bare minimum. We've ran this one about 4 or 5 times now. This is the first one where we had to end it early because Marik was about to die. But also, what you're supposed to do with your Pot of Bene is use it at your absolute earliest convenience. The second you get it, and you're supposed to use it and put his monsters back into guns blazing. Woo! I don't get many hosts anymore, and that is insane. Guns just dropped 271 people on us. Guns, hope you had a great stream, my friend. I see you're trying out a new time slot. I hope it's working for you. Damn. But yeah, like we were saying, this is the absolute bare minimum. Oh, guns raid incoming for sure. Absolute bare minimum. Now, what you're gonna do with this format, as you guys saw, we ran into Marik obviously getting low life. How do you fix that? Speed the game up a little more. It was our deck versus his deck. Man, I actually can't even wrap my head around the improvements. So we'll start right at the beginning. Right away, our Fairy Meteor Crush and our Storm, they gotta go. To start improving it, you're gonna go anti-magic arrows, which almost everyone should have, at least one of. And we're gonna use Big Bang Shot. Big Bang Shot is perfect. And with using Big Bang Shot instead of Fairy Meteor Crush, there almost should be no reason you have to use that Pot of Bene early. The odds of him stealing the Cerberus, I've had my Cerberus stolen, I've had any one of my monsters stolen 2 times at about 30 plus farms now. I'm gonna have to say it's just something you don't worry about. It really is. You just say, I'm just not gonna care. Obviously, if we have more Supremacy Berries. The other thing too is, actually, we'll stick to just like linear improvements. So right away, Big Bang Shot. We don't need 2 copies of Fairy Meteor Crush now because we aren't running Storm. We have anti-magic arrows to replace the Storm, and I'm running. So that, and then at this point, it's the healing, right? So we have a whole deck is full of healing to try to stop ourselves from dying. If we can afford better quality healing, for example, Supremacy Berries, Diane Keto the Cure Masters, at that point, you can afford to ditch the healing cards in the deck and go for other things. For example, hit your spells, hit your filter. We're gonna jump straight onto, like, and don't forget, at any point of these improvements, boom, you could run it like this. This is already gonna be better than what you guys saw, and because we're running Supremacy Berries, honestly, maybe take out one of the Supremacy Berries. We'll add in a Rain of Mercy. Even just 1 Rain of Mercy almost guarantees he wasn't gonna die. 1 Rain of Mercy, there it is. Next thing that'll speed the deck up, Shards of Greed. Those are beautiful cards in farm decks. That's also going to prevent Marik from dying. Honestly, if you have the Shards of Greed, you definitely do not need the Rain of Mercy. It's only in there in case you don't. And the next thing at this point, what you're going to do, so in order to put the Shards of Greed out in, we're going to take out some of the glossy points. This deck is hitting 8,000 because we actually have 1,900 points in glossy and prismatic. It's a 6,100 point deck to start with. Now to close that gap, we're just going to go ahead, hit prismatic on our spells and traps, see what you have. Like, these are all possible improvements we can make. You guys saw what was actually necessary in the deck. And the only thing that really is Cerberus, anti-magic arrows, Big Bang Shot. Pot of Benevolence, I would say one copy of Pot, healing. Those are the only things that's actually required in this deck. So if we have quality healing, then we can afford to ditch other things and make room for random prismatic cards. You guys got prismatic enemy controllers. I know I don't, but I know you do. Use them. There, I just tossed in a handful of prismatic cards. Now I just go and you start knocking out the lowest common denominator. We don't need those anymore. We don't need the red medicine. And actually, in order to better control hitting low life with this deck, which even more so allows us to pump up our the possibility of winning, Supremacy Berry, Rain of Mercy, 2 Dying Keto the Cure Masters. I would argue that we could get away with 1 Soul of the Pure. We don't need Wasteland anymore. We already have a field spell. It was kind of doing nothing. It was just a field spell, and we especially needed it because of the Storm setup. I'm looking at probably a good setup. I mean, we'll throw in maybe 1 more Soul of the Pure to guarantee the low life. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards there. And at this point, we can just fill it back up with one of my go-to completely useless spell cards is Timidity. We got Timid. I gotta break the filter, I think. Yeah, there it is. Timidity. Throw those in. They're doing nothing. Boom, boom, boom. Now we count our glossy prismatic. We got 2, we got 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. 1,900 points in glossy or prismatic is going to make this deck hit 8,000. 8,000 points. A Cerberus deck. Both of them are hitting 8,000. That other one, if stuff didn't go bad, it was a lot of things that happened the wrong way that made us not completely perfect that cheaper farm. But I'm actually going to go ahead and we're going to run that cheap version. Oh, we just saved. We just saved it and we lost our cheap version. Damn. Let's see how different this cheap deck was from the one that I optimized in the tab over here. This was supposed to be the one that we were going to use. Almost identical. I think I swapped out Supremacy Berry maybe for, well, we don't need the Rain of Mercy. We certainly don't need that Rain of Mercy, but why not? Like, I mean, I would argue running the 1 Rain of Mercy over the Supremacy Berry is probably a good idea. But I actually want to revert it one last time back to... you know what? I'm going to say no. We're going to run... So that was the cheapest. The absolute cheapest I could run it. Now, together we optimized it. It's on the screen. Oh, it's fine. Yo, Lightclaw, how you doing? I'll replace the one that's currently on the screen with this one that we just threw together. Oh, we don't have bloopers here. We just let it roll. We just let it roll. Got downtime? Meh. Who cares? There you go. And now we'll run it with this. We'll run it with this. We just took it. I walked you through different incremental upgrades you could make it. Because you're gonna, if you're actually looking, or if you're watching this video and especially if you're watching it because you actually need to use it because you don't have access to Paradox Brothers, Labyrinth Builder. Personally, the Unhappy Girl's kind of been shoddy, hit or miss. And yeah, it's... This, if you're looking for it, you're going to fall somewhere along a spectrum that falls between the deck I just did, the deck I ran with before, and this one that I'm about to move now. And anywhere along that spectrum is going to be good. You just make the improvements where you can. Cheapest one is the one that we just optimized, I hope. Actually, it lets you check it right here quick. Not edit it for some reason. I don't know why the interfaces have to be separate. It's like, oh, well, just let us edit there. Who cares? But, yeah, so this is going to be the other end. This is going to be your near most optimized. And this deck will hit 8,000. Cerberus deck, this will hit 8,000. Now, the advantage to everything going on here is no matter what, you're able to buff your Cerberus up high enough. We got fortunate enough to start with it. If we didn't, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Shard of Greed, that's gonna be 19. Actually, we have to pop everything here, except for Supremacy Berry. Whoa! So Supremacy Berry, and I'm glad I reduced it to 1 now. Oh no, it'll be fine. Deanne Keto actually lets us use the Supremacy Berry, but we did just have to waste 2 sources of our healing, and we have 3 cards in the grave. But it's imperative, no matter what, that we buff our Cerb to 3,400, because he could have just dropped the 3,300 monster that turn right there. So there's no wiggle room. Another thing as well is if you guys are watching this video and you are trying to put this deck together or put a deck similar to it, this is going to be one of the videos that I'm going to be the most active I've ever been in the comments down below. Go ahead and post like, hey, this is as close as I can get. What can I sub for this? A lot of us, everyone's going to be in the comments down below helping you guys out. Because honestly, it's those of you who are looking to decks like this that have been struggling. And to be honest with you, one of the big reasons I actually decided I was going to waste 4 hours of my day putting together a Cerberus deck that I'm never going to farm with myself is because I have a good friend who actually came to me this morning and he said, wow, this Marik event is really awesome. Double keys, double gold, but I can't farm them. I just started the game 3 weeks ago. I don't have Paradox Brothers. I don't quite have the cards to make Unhappy Girl work yet. There are some expensive ones, and I can't really participate in the event. I was like, I got you, bro. Don't worry. I got you. Let's do it. That Shard of Greed, that one Shard of Greed that I just popped there, arguably I should have waited and not done it. One of the tricks, and I'm going to say it again like we did before, one of the tricks with this deck is don't avoid putting as many cards in your grave as possible. Prolong it. Don't do it. We got Field Spell. We can get that out of our hand. So just, there's no rush to play your cards. In fact, the later you play every single card, the better. Get your Cerb to 3,400. He is safe at 3,400. Leave him there for as long as you possibly can. I'm not going to play another card until my field is completely packed full. And actually, this Shard of Greed will be perfect. We'll be able to shard out in 2 turns now. And this entire deck is performed on the last turn, so there's no prep you have to worry about making sure you do. So we're going to have to, we will only have to go like one more turn, and actually, we can just set a card. We don't even have to play one. Set it. We got 3. We got 6. We'll take damage here. It'll only be 400. That's totally fine. And then boom, we'll roll right into our last turn with those 2 shard pops. And that's good. We actually needed 0 healing this entire run. That's pretty funny. And that it's all about optimizing the cards. Don't rush to activate them. And of course, the Shards of Greed helps speed things up. There it is. We're already on the last turn. I mean, at this point, we're literally just going to use every card we have. Pada Bene, don't screw up and put your own cards back. That being said, make sure that your opponent has 2 cards in his graveyard before you activate Pada Bene. That could screw you up for sure. Timidity. And the only cards that we actually have to activate, or we have to activate enough to get this Cerberus up. But the thing is, we're also running Roroku. And Roroku is great in the sense that it helps us make up for, like, if you don't have enough attack, it helps you make up the difference. We use Roku, we'll steal from the tomato. Your opponent will always have at least 1 monster face up. So Roku just happens to buff a little more than your average 500. Now, at this point here, you have to ask yourself, we've gotten here, our Cerb, he actually needs to be buffed a little more. Don't forget, he is going to receive the extra 500 from anti-magic arrows. That's only going to get us to 11,000. That would not be enough to do 10k through this tomato. So unfortunately, we are going to have to pop one of these healing cards. And this is where I was trying to find the balance in the deck as well. I would argue that you could get away with taking out the Soul of the Pures and putting in 2 more useless magic cards, because that's going to give you the ability to stay at low life here. We're going to have to dodge low life because we have to activate these Souls of the Pure, because we know that every single card in this deck is perfectly adding up to 1900 Prismatic and Glossy, which is actually getting this Cerberus deck over 8k. So at this point, I'm just going to use all the cards, because why not? Go to your battle phase, anti-magic arrows, activates out of the battle phase. That completely takes care of the trap cards he has, and boom, we hit it home. You could run, actually I wouldn't. I would run Big Bang Shot over, actually you have to run Big Bang Shot over the Shooting Star Bow Seal, because Seal could brick you in your opening hand. That's the problem with Seal. And boom, there's 8,000 on the nose, just like we calculated. We had 1,900 Prismatic and Glossy points. It's a 6,100 base farm, but it's full of crap. It's full of absolute random cards. What we actually need to pull this, the only thing you need to do to pull this Cerberus farm off is have every single card in the whole deck playable spell cards. As long as every single card in the deck is a playable spell card, and you feel like you've taken care of the things that Marik has that are causing you problems, you're good. It's done. Improvements, like I said, I think we could have... you can decide not to play glossy cards at the end if it means you're going to get an extra 500 points for low life. That extra 500 points for low life is going to boost this deck significantly. And managing your time to make that happen is going to be much better. But I'll take us back to the, actually we have to remake the other one real quick, and I can pull it back. I'll pull it back up at the top right here. I think it's this one here. Making up and going from here upwards, you have your right away. I'm just staring at the top right. Right away, your improvements are being Swap Meteor Crush for Big Bang Shot, Swap Storm for anti-magic arrows. If you're running anti-magic arrows, you only have to run one Fairy Meteor Crush or Big Bang Shot, so only have one in there. Frees you up an extra spot, and then get better quality healing. Rain of Mercy is fantastic. Obviously, I'm running the Dian Ketos over the Rain of Mercy simply because my Dian Keto, the Cure Masters, are glossy. But you can get away as long as you can manage your life, which is actually pretty easy to do because you have hands full of non-healing cards. Actually, you know what? I'm going back in one more time with our Cerb, with our, not the cheat, yeah, our optimized Cerb deck here. And I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to guarantee we land on the life points we need. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 options for healing. I'd say that's decent. Maybe I'll put one more of those piers back in. I like the sound of that fifth one. There are times where you struggle because you take a ton of the damage right up front, and you need that. And then I'm going to put Wasteland back in. It was a glossy field spell. I'm going to drop one of these healing spells. I think that might help me better manage my... That might help me better manage my low life. And that's it. Like, so many times, you shouldn't just be copy-pasting farm decks. There are a ton of times where you shouldn't. And it's kind of understanding how they work, how to improve them yourself, the changes you can make, how to take them in the right direction, especially ones like this. It isn't though. If you don't get Cerberus, and I'm catching a couple of the arguments in chat. If you don't get Cerberus to 3400 fast enough, you're gonna get killed by a masked beast. I promise you, 100% of the time, you're gonna get Cerberus over 3400 with either of these decks that I've run, the optimized or the non-optimized. It is you're literally guaranteed to get Cerberus to 3400 fast enough. And that's just a fact. God's Cup, GG. That one's right at you. 100%. The application of pot. Cheapest Marik deck. That's it. We're running it. 100% of the time, you are gonna get Cerberus over 3400 on time. I'd say there's ways this farm bricks, but it's not because you're not getting Cerberus over it on time. Oh, deterred. And that's one reason to ditch it. To be honest, we don't need it in this deck. In fact, when I go back in, I think I'm gonna kick it out. You just named off one problem. That Supremacy Berry can be a problem in this deck. We're gonna go. What cards you have? What cards do you have? You know, a couple, one or two, from the event. I almost have a full set of Marik's cards. Actually, we're breaking in on like 3.5 million already. A little behind where I'd like to be because we spent a lot of our time today. Working on this essentially. But this is the kicker. Sure, you're always gonna start with 4 spells and Cerberus at either on your first or second turn, because your second turn, if you don't have Cerb, you're gonna draw them. No, we won't activate Magical Blast. No need. And at this point, our Cerb's at 3400. We just don't do anything. Don't do anything, and our life points stay high. They stay healthy. We're only going to be getting hit by that 300 every turn. Shard of Greed, sure, I'll get that popped, but we're not actually going to draw with it yet. We're just going to wait. I know I would say this is one of the best sleeves and mats that I've seen in quite a long time. Any ideas to fit Lava Golem into Teoburn? I don't know if that would work too well, because you have to defend against the Lava Golem too. So you'd keep ending your turn. If we draw the field spell, we'll play it because it gets it out of the way. There it is. Nothing wrong with that. Don't put any more cards into our graveyard until we absolutely have to. There's no rush. Yami, I had 0 gold when this event started. I've already spent about 150,000 in total out of the card shop, and I still have 320,000 gold saved up now. This event has been insane. It's just sitting on stacks on stacks on stacks. It's so freaking awesome. Been waiting for an event like this for so long. We have 6 cards. To avoid putting another one in the grave, we will just set a card here. That brings us back down to 5. Actually, what am I saying? 6 would have been fine. We can draw 2 more without having to worry about it. 1. And actually, at this point, I'm forcing myself to take a little extra damage here because I know these 2 shards are about to pop off. I'm only going to take damage for 2 more turns, and I want to make sure I get low life. So here I am popping a bunch of XX cards I didn't need to. That's going to pump the damage I'm taking up a little more. Once you get to that point, you can start thinking the other way. Budget your health. Know how many turns are left. And if you don't have as many prismatics or glossies and you still want to push this deck to 8,000, you can do so by getting low life. Getting low life drops the prismatic glossy requirement in this deck from 1900 down to only 1400. Wow, my head's just fried today. Big bang shot. We're using anti-magic arrows, so we can go ahead and play this. Wonder Wand is totally fine. We're obviously not going to get low life, so we're not going to worry about that. But Comeback Victory is still on the sought-after horizon, and we're pretty much guaranteed that now. We have 10 cards in the grave. We're going to get smacked by 1,000 here, and then we'll just roll into the final turn. Yeah, honestly, you really don't need that much heal in this deck. If you play it like I did, really, really, really slow, don't fill your graveyard ahead of time, because you don't have to. You don't need the healing. You just really don't. Roroku's nice. It bridges the gap between maybe not having enough attack on your Cerb, although most of you should, because every card in this deck is a spell. And here we sit. We don't have low life. We've guaranteed the Comeback Victory, so there's no point in considering not playing any healing cards you might have left in your hand. And make sure you don't clog your field, because we are activating anti-magic arrows in that battle step. Go ahead, hit the far right. Give him back his cards. Make sure you don't use Pot Bene on your own. One thing, when we get Pot Bene, we draw ours very late. The second you get it, you should return 2 of Marik's cards back into his own deck. That is the goal for them. It stops him from taking damage, helps guarantee we're getting our Comeback Victory, because Comeback Victory is definitely part of the build. And there it is. That'll finish us off. Opponent's life points reached 0. You know what? And we're going to run it one more time. 8,000 right on the nose. Like we've counted. We counted every glossy and prismatic card. It takes 1,900. You kind of just have to work your way around. Make that work for you. You cannot use a trap card. Using anything that is not a playable spell card on turn 1 opens you up to the possibility of not defending yourself versus his turn 2 3,300 beater summon. One thing I'm actually going to change here, and it was just pointed out to me by someone in the chat, is how detrimental Supremacy Berry can be. Whoa, I just added one instead of remove. Supremacy Berry can actually mess this up. Instead of Supremacy Berry, we're just going to add in another Rain of Mercy. We don't need the healing from it. Supremacy Berry is not playable turn 1. It was the only thing in this deck that could actually brick us at the beginning. Now it is literally guaranteed that it's going to work for us. This is it, Cerb opt. There is no way that we will not open up and be able to buff our Cerberus high enough to not die to the 3,300. Yeah, turn 2 Desgardius, God's Cup. We are 100% protected against that turn 2 Desgardius. I'm praying he gets a turn 2 off on us this game, just so I can show you that. Cheapest Marik deck. Let's go. Pot Bene on turn is completely okay, and I'll show you why. On turn 1, if you have Pot Bene, you have 1 spell that you play, 2 spells that you play, 3 spells that you play, and Cerb. Pot Bene, 2 spells land in the graveyard, Cerberus. There is only one combo period in this entire deck, and you have to draw both of these cards in your opening hand. So I did lie. It's not 100%. The one combo is if you open up with Big Bang Shot and Pot of Benevolence. And of course, the way to get around that is you have to be unlucky enough to draw Big Bang Shot and Pot of Bene in your opening hand, and Marik has to be lucky enough to turn 2 Desgardius. If both of those things happen, you've hit the outlier. You're not gonna pull it off, unfortunately. Like you've hit that unlucky point where it's, damn, okay, I lose this one. But here it is. Cerberus and 4 playable spell cards will be your second turn every single game. Like so. Cerb's at 3,400. We use Pot of Benevolence. It's not to stop him from decking out. Anti-magic arrows, and that's why we're running Pot of Benevolence. If anti-magic arrows is in your opening hand, use it. Use it right away. Just use it. Oh, and then it needs to be a pot of benevolence needs to be used on it. Then that's what you use your pot on. We did nerf. Oh, there's the Rain of Mercy though. We did nerf our healing we have available to us in this deck this time around. We're gonna have to feel this out. I think we'll be fine because really 300 into we're laughing. Like we're gonna be able to draw another 8 cards. So we'll only have 4 cards left in the deck, and by then we'll have drawn into a ton of these decks don't need healing. We only need, like, to be honest, I could probably drop the Dying Cut of the Cure Masters. Toggle the off. I mean, that's not gonna affect much. The one thing that actually tilts me about toggle is toggle off doesn't stop this super annoying message right here. That message is the bane of my farming existence because I can't help myself but put this beautiful prismatic mist or magical blast in my farm decks, and it haunts me every time, where every single turn I have to press no. Let's see here. Chart agreed we can play, get it primed and ready. No need to actually use the shards until the last moment. No, Draw Sense Light is obviously going to be optimal for this deck. Personally, if you have Draw Sense Light, I would run Cerberus over Unhappy Girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing I would potentially suggest over this is the Labyrinth Builder build. It's only because it's faster. It's a little bit faster. That would get me to run the Labyrinth Builder over this. With 7 cards left, we're only taking 300 a turn still, not a big deal. At this point right here, we're going to be forced though. It's going to force our hand. We'll have to use Timidity. Yeah. Oh no, we only had 6. I didn't have to do that. Wow. That's okay. Well, now we can't survive the next 2 turns without healing. Not a big deal. We'll just use a Rain of Mercy right now. Can we get low life? I probably should have used the Soul of the Pure, because it's one of my glossy cards. But if we're getting low life, we don't need the glossy. If this is the deck you're actually farming the event with, you're going to be running it like countless number of times. You're going to learn the tricks to getting low life. If low life is what you need to get 8,000 with this deck, you'll learn the tricks to do it. I just blew my load 1 turn too early. So we're gonna have to manage this now. We have 1,300. It's gonna be okay to fill that grave. We're gonna take damage at the end of this turn, and it actually would be nice if that damage could land us in a threshold of getting comeback victory. Pot of Bene. Obviously, I want to take damage. I'm not gonna use it on the opponent. I mean, I'm not gonna use it on myself. Looks like I have to. Oh, that was a misplay. Now there's 2 turns left till this is over. Oh well. Uh, 1,300. I'll probably just go. You know what? We can just set something and then end our turn, I think. We'll take 800 here. Actually, let's play Soul of the Pure. That'll buff us to 2,100. Actually, that Soul of the Pure just made us lose our low life for sure. We're only gonna take 900. We need to take 11. Damn. We don't need Roku. I could put that in the grave. Nothing else is gonna land in the grave without healing me though. And that's 1,000. Oh well. Like I said, the more you play the deck, you're gonna get experience. Oh no, I forgot. We have 2 turns. I totally forgot. We just guaranteed low life. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. Oh, we had 2 turns left. I forgot. And that's it. The only customization is you're drawing 2. I got it. I'm getting it from the chat too, and I know I would. You learn the tricks to guarantee yourself low life. And that's it. Once you learn those, you're good. You're good. We have an 800 defense monster over there. That's beautiful. We know we only got to get our Cerb to 10,800 to hit 10k. And you only do have to hit 10k right on the nose. We're going to try to actually avoid using these healing cards. But we have the Roku. The Roku bloody well guarantees you're going to have your Cerberus high enough. And this is where the wiggle room comes in with this deck. Where we choose not to use those prismatic and or glossy cards, even though we know if I had simply used them, we're also going to get 8k. I'm just showing you guys, for people who don't have as many glossies or prismatics and you want to get that extra 500 bonus from low life, we're good. We can do it right now. Cerb's high enough. We won't play the healing, so we lock it in. There's our anti-magic arrows. And we're good. Hit the 800. And this should score probably about 8,300 if I'm calculating correctly. I'm dropping 2 glossies, but gaining 500. No, I dropped 1 glossy only. So it should be 8,400. Yes. You know you farm too much when you have the entire endings memorized at this point. But that's it. Cerberus. If you cannot make some of the absolutely optimized Labyrinth Builder decks that I've posted, that I've also posted here, or you guys have seen, or you don't have Paradox Brothers, you haven't gotten the Labyrinth Builder skill yet, I would turn to Cerberus long before I turned to Unhappy Girl. The Unhappy Girl just, there's too many ways it can go wrong. Even right off the bat, and actually, to be honest with you guys, this is more consistent than Labyrinth Builder. You can brick Labyrinth, the Labyrinth Builder farm can brick. It's not perfect. The time consumption, though, the Labyrinth Builder is faster. So if you have 999 pieces of toast down here, these right here, then it might be arguable that you should use Labyrinth Builder instead. But just because it doesn't matter to you if you lose, but a lot of people don't. They're running on just the standard duelists. They don't have any dual orbs. They don't pop the hour refreshes. Then the Cerberus is actually more consistent. It has near 100% win rate with Draw Sense Light. I'm gonna quote myself there though. Draw Sense Light is very. It takes this from an okay deck to an all-star deck, and unfortunately, Draw Sense Light is a drop skill, but pretty well anyone can have it. I think I pretty much covered the cheapest build, the one we started with, the most optimal build that we possibly have. Not most optimal, sorry, just ways to progress your cheapest build towards a more consistent, easier to use one and faster one. We speed this up with the Shards of Greed. But that's it. Like, I mean, make sure you guys check out make sure you guys check out the YouTube channel to see the other decks we have posted. We have a Labyrinth Builder, we have a Union Attack Labyrinth Builder, a non-Union Attack Labyrinth Builder, and this is going to be our budget, our Cerberus farm for those of you who can't access the Labyrinth Builder ones. And I'm so happy to say that it was 100% put together by the stream. We worked together, and so many of us have been throwing a good 3 to 4 hours just nitpicking on every single card, and most of it was, no, let's make it cheaper. It has to be the cheapest possible deck. I'm not settling for anything else. Nope, that's the super rare. Get it out of there. Anti-magic arrows. Everyone has one from last event. I don't care. Gone. Storm. Like, it was fun. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's gonna sum this one up. Make sure you guys catch us live at twitch.tv/MasKScarin. We recorded this one. That's where we recorded this one live. Had a lot of fun. I actually can't figure out where my really have a thing up at the top left, but oh well. And I gotta invite all you guys to come join the Discord channel. We have a ton of fun in the Discord channel, and also that's where we usually do all of our theory crafting for decks. When the patch drops, we're there. When this patch dropped, we had 15 people in the voice channel and about 30 more in the text channel right beside us, and we were all working together, and that's how we made the very first farming deck that we started with. That was a ton of fun as well. You'll find a link to the Discord channel in the description down below, as well as the socials. You got Facebook, you got Twitter down there as well. That's when you get updates, know what's going on, when more content's coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. This one was a little longer because I really just wanted to dedicate time to people who are actually going to benefit from this. Because let's be real, if you've made it this far, you actually probably going to be using Cerberus, and that's fantastic because I will never forget. I had a friend who come up to me this morning, and he goes, "This is the best event that's happened so far. Double gold, double keys on a gate event. I just can't farm it. I don't have Unhappy Girl. I don't have Labyrinth Wall, and I don't have Paradox Brothers yet because I just started playing 2 to 3 weeks ago." It was awesome. I'm just so glad that we were able to get a deck together for him. And just to give you a little shout out, I'm talking about you, Ashton. Ashton, you're awesome. But that's it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Don't forget, stay classy.